Hey, good people. I got something really special for you today. I got a Rolex. My first Rolex. Guys, I wanted this watch since 1990. I was over at a friend's house and visiting him, and I noticed he never really wore watches much. But this day he had a watch on, and I was a black face. I'm not sure if it was a date just, but it was an older one, even for 1990. I could tell it was probably 60s or 70s because I had looked at Rolexes before at different stores from time to time. And I said, hey, Jeff, shout out to Jeff Bain, is that a Rolex? And he said, yeah, it sure is. And then I had to ask the question, is it a real Rolex? And he said, yep, it's a genuine Rolex. I said, what year is it from? He said 1966, and this was in 1990. And it still looked brand new, and it was a beautiful watch. It kept perfect time. He said a friend of his had given it to him quite a few years before that. So at that time, I was going to college to be a registered nurse. I was going to the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. Shout out to the Buffaloes. And then I was also going to Bethel College of Nursing. Shout out to Bethel. And I got my 4-year bachelor's degree from Bethel, which was affiliated with UCCS, University of Colorado at that time. Now they've merged and they're one and the same, but it's still called Bethel at the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. So at that time I couldn't afford one. A Rolex Datejust back in 1990 was between $800 and $2,400 if you got just the all stainless steel, which is what I like. Then you would have got the $1,800. But if you wanted gold in it, $2,400 on up if you wanted the gold, like two-tone gold. But the one I really wanted was the two-tone, the gold in the middle with the stainless steel. And then I wanted the blue dial. I thought the blue dial was beautiful. And back then they would have been 36 millimeters. That would have been their case size. That was the biggest they made. And so anyway, 30 years in the making. This is a brand new 2020, never tried on, never worn, Oyster Perpetual 41 millimeter with the blue face, all stainless steel case. There is some white gold, but it's in the markers on the dial for where the time is, and that's beautiful. I'll show you. The craftsmanship is beautiful on this watch, and these watches are getting really hard to find. I got this one off of eBay, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it after we get it out of here. So this is the box it's going to come in. You're going to have the writing right here. Just a basic white box, but this is what you get for your Rolex purchase, whatever they're sending it to you in, whatever box to mail it, then this is how you'll get it. And then we'll take it, just slides right out like that. And then you get this beautiful Rolex raised logo, which I just love. I'm a Rolex guy, even though this is my first one. I know there's other brands out there, but I just always liked Rolex. I always thought they equated to quality. So this is going to come off, and then that just flaps forward. And then you get this. And then you get this beautiful box. It's a heavy wooden box. It's really nice that the watch comes in, and then this just slides right out. Okay. And then you get that beautiful Rolex gold crown. I just think that's really nice. You get the raised ripples like waterfall. Gorgeous. And it is made of wood. And then this opens up. And there you go, guys, my 2020 Rolex Oyster Perpetual, or OP as they call it, 41 millimeter. This is all new for 2020. The 39 millimeter that this one replaces, the OP 39, that one they did from 2015 to 2020, or 2019. 2015 to 2019. Then this is what they came out with, the 2020. Now this is what they call an entry-level Rolex. I'm going to say, not just because I purchased it, but it's far from entry level, and I'll tell you why. So let's take a closer look at the watch. There you go, guys. That beautiful blue dial, and then the markers, and then the Oyster bracelet, stainless steel. And this bracelet is really super comfortable. And this is all 904L stainless steel. And Rolex makes all of this material that's in this watch, from the stainless steel, the case, the dial, the internals, 100% made by Rolex. They don't outsource anything. They even have a foundry. They do their own gold, rose gold, white gold, everything, and they use 18 karat gold. Now I have a little bit of gold in the markers, and I like the way they did the double markers at 3, 6, and 9. I think that's real nice. And this case doesn't catch your, or this bracelet doesn't catch your skin or anything. It's super, super comfortable. And this watch is a nice heavy, not too heavy on the wrist, but this watch is a nice, really solid watch, and it's what I wanted. I didn't want any gold this time. I just wanted all stainless steel. And like I said, this is 904L Rolex stainless steel. But what makes this watch not an entry-level watch is on the back side, it has the 3230 movement, which is the same movement that is in the Submariner, the $15,000 Submariner, without the date. Same movement. This one, of course, doesn't have a date, but that's what I wanted. I wanted just a nice, open, dial. No date, no cyclops, just the wide open dial. And what happened for 2020 is Rolex sold out of these. And a lot of independent buyers bought them out and resold them. So Rolex was selling them. I'll show you a different angle. Rolex was selling them for $6,000 if you could get one. People are on waiting lists, and then they sold out. Now they're doing the waiting lists for 2021 with no guarantees. But there's not very many of them on, I went to eBay, because you get a guarantee that it's going to be real, and if it's not authentic, you get your money back. I have no reason to think that this watch is not authentic. All of the paperwork came back great. The serial number is etched on the watch and on the band, so you know that this band came with this watch. And this one, you got to buy the seller as much as you do the watch, and I kind of did both. So I was really happy with everything. The seller was great. So I found it on eBay, but he has brick and mortar stores, and this might be something you guys could use. So I asked him if we could go off of eBay, because I know eBay has a lot of fees, but we still went off of PayPal. But then I didn't have to pay state taxes that eBay makes you pay. And this watch came from New York, from Long Island, and the taxes out there are almost 9%. So this would have been an extra $800. So I saved on that. Plus the seller took $100 off. I got this for $7,700. And I do believe that I will always be able to get my money back on this watch. I really do. I think it's only going to go up in value. And I think what they did on this is, you can watch a lot of videos on it. On the dial, they did a lot of different colors. They did this beautiful blue, which is similar to the Datejust blue, but this blue is a lot richer blue. The Datejust is more navy blue, so it shows up more as black, where you can see in the light. This one really shows up blue. And then in here there's a micro link adjustment, and you can adjust this one link more tight or one link looser. And anyway, so you can adjust it on the fly if your wrist gets more swelled up if you're doing exercise and stuff like that. But you can't find these for $6,000 in Rolex. They're out of them, so you're not going to get it there. So I was happy to get it for $7,700. I think it's only going to go up in price. It's got all of the Submariner stuff inside, and it also has a 70-hour power reserve. So you could have this after you worn it for a while. You could have this where you can let it sit for 70 hours and it'll still be going. You won't have to wind it up. And I'm going to show you something I got for it that I thought was kind of cool. So I got this really nice case that it can stay in, and it keeps it from getting dust on it. And where I work, I won't wear this to work just because it's going to get banged up against stuff. I don't do nursing anymore, but where I work up at a Christian conference center, I work in the dining hall in the kitchen area. But what's really nice is if I'm not wearing this, it has different settings, and you can leave it, and it'll go like around like this a few times, around the other a few times, and then it'll rest for a while. But it keeps the watch wound up for you. And this is all cherry wood. It's made by Diplomat, is the name brand. And I also got it on eBay, and it's specifically for watches that have the movement in them, that aren't quartz, that aren't run by battery. And I thought this was a pretty cool idea. And it has like 4 different settings, so you can do your settings or you can turn it off. It runs on electric or it runs on battery. So it's kind of a cool thing. You can just leave it and then let the watch wind itself. And then when you go to wear it, it'll be nice and safe in here. And then it'll be all, the time will be right. You won't have to set anything. And it's a lot better for these watches if they're being wound and not just sitting, because then the oils that are on them coagulates. So I got one more thing to show you guys. I just wanted to show you in the box, when you open it up, here's where all your booklets and your papers